Ashton, can you just ramble for like an hour?
I got you, Ashton.
About
Pull
something?
up the Wikipedia article for chair.
What? Okay.
Wait, what?
One
Why
of the
you-
basic pieces of furniture.
No way.
Primary features are two pieces of durable material attached
Isn't that
at
the
back
only
and
kind
feet
of
to one
seat?
another
Is
at
a
a
chair?
90-degree angle. With usually four corners of the horizontal seat attached in turn to four legs, or other parts of the seat's underside attached to three legs, to a shaft about of which a four-arm turnstile on rollers can turn strong enough to support the weight of a person who sits on the seat, usually wide and broad enough to hold the lower body from the buttocks almost to the knees, and leans against a vertical back, usually high and wide enough to support the back to the shoulder blades. The legs are typically high enough for the seated person's size and knees to form a 90-degree
I hear Ashton.
angle used in a number of rooms or homes. Example: living rooms, dining rooms, dens,
And the Black
and
Mesa
schools,
facility.
offices,
What?
and dens. And in various other workplaces, chairs may be made out of wood, metal, or synthetic materials, and either the seat alone or the entire chair may be padded or upholstered in various colors and fabrics.
A chair
Chairs
without an
vary in
arm.
design. An armchair has
Okay, who
armrests
made a
fixed to the seat. A
Wikipedia
recliner
page
is
for
upholstered,
chair?
and under its seat
A
is a
chair without a
mechanism that allows
backrest is also a stool.
one to lower
Jack,
the
please.
chair's back and raise into place a fold-out footrest. A rocking legs fixed to two long curved slats. A wheelchair has wheels fixed in an axis under the seat. History.
The
Chair has
history-
been used since antiquity. Although for many centuries it was a symbolic article of state and dignity rather than an article for ordinary use. The chair, in quotation marks, is still used as the emblem of authority in the House of Commons in
Chair.
and Canada, and in many other settings, in keeping with the
historical
historical
connotation of the chair.
quote-unquote
As a
chair
Jack, shut
as
up,
a
please.
symbol of authority. Committees, boards of directors, and academic departments all had a chairman or chair. Endowed professorships also
Chair.
referred to as chairs. It was not until
Okay.
the 16th century that chairs became common. Until then, people sat on chests, benches, and stools, which were the ordinary seats of everyday life. The number of chairs which have survived from an earlier date is exceedingly limited. Most examples are from ecclesiastical, seigneurial, and feudal origin. Chairs were in existence since at least the early dynastic period of Egypt, around 3100 BC. They were covered with cloth or leather, were made of carved wood, and were much lower than today's chairs. Chair seats were sometimes only 10 inches high. In ancient Egypt, chairs appear to have been of great richness and splendor, fashioned of ebony and ivory, or of carved and gilded wood. They were covered with costly materials, magnificent patterns, and supported upon representations of the legs of beasts or the figures of captives. Generally speaking, the higher ranked an individual was, the taller and more sumptuous was the chair he sat on, and the greater honor. On state occasions, the pharaoh sat on a throne, often with a little footstool in front of the chair. The average Egyptian family seldom had chairs, and if they did, it was usually only the master of the household who sat on the chair. Among the better off, the chairs might be painted to look like an ornate inglide of the carved chairs of the rich, but the craftsmanship was usually poor. The earliest images of chairs in China are from 6th century Buddhist murals and steel, but the practice of sitting in chairs at that time was rare. It wasn't until the 12th century that chairs became widespread in China. Scholars disagree of the reason for the adoption of the chair. The most common theories are the chair was an outgrowth of indigenous Chinese furniture, that it evolved from a cramped stool imported from Central Asia, and it was introduced to China by the Christian missionaries in the 17th century, and that the chair came to China from India as a form of Buddhist monastic future for furniture. In modern China, unlike Korea or Japan, it is no longer common to sit at a floor level. In Europe, it was owing a great measure to the Renaissance that the chair ceased to be a privilege of state and became a standard item of furniture for anyone who could afford to buy it. Once the idea of privilege faded with the chair speedily became into general use. Almost at once, the chair began to change every few years to reflect the fashions of the day. In the 1880s, chairs became more common in American households, and usually there was a chair provided for every family member to sit down by dinner. By the 1830s, factory manufactured fancy chairs, like those by Sears, Roebuck and Company, allowed families to purchase machined sets. With the Industrial Evolution, chairs became much more available.
Okay, who wrote this article? Like, who?
The 20th century saw an increasing use of technology in chair construction. with such things such as an all-metal folding chair, metal-legged chairs, and slumber chair. Citation needed. Molded plastic chairs and ergonomic chairs. The recliner became a popular form at least in part due to radio and television, especially among the obese population of America. The modern movement of the 1960s produced new forms of chairs. The butterfly chair, the hardoi chair, beanbags, and egg-shaped
Say the gaming
chairs.
chair. Somebody say gaming chair.
It also introduced the first mass-produced plastic chairs such as the Bowfinger chair in 1966. Technological advances led to molded plywood and wood-laminated chairs, as well as chairs made of leather or polymers. Mechanical technology incorporated into the chair enabled adjustable chairs, especially for office use. Motors embedded in the chairs resulted in massage chairs. Materials. Chairs can be made from wood, metal, or other strong materials like stone or acrylic. In some cases, multiple materials are used to construct a chair. For example, the legs and frame may be made from metal and the seat and back may be made from plastic. Chairs may have hard surfaces of wood, metal, plastic, or other materials. Or some or all of these hard surfaces may be covered with upholstery or padding. The design may be made of porous materials and drilled with holes for decoration. A low back or gaps can provide ventilation. The back may extend above the height of the occupant's head, which can optionally contain a headrest. Chairs can also be made from creative materials such as recycled materials like cutlery and wooden play bricks, pencils, plumbing tubes, rope, corrugated cardboard, and even PVC pipe. In rare cases, chairs are made out of unusual materials, especially as a form of art or experimentation. Raimons Circulus, a Latvian interior designer, created a volcanic hanging chair that is handmade out of volcanic rock. Peter Brenner, a Dutch-born German designer, has created a chair made from lollipop sugar, 60 pounds or 27 kilograms of confectioner sugar.
And yet they never mention a gaming chair.
Can't believe it.
Shame.
Useless.
Design and ergonomics. Chair design considers intended usage, ergonomics, how comfortable it is for the occupant, as well as non-ergonomic functionality requirements such as size, stacking ability, folding ability, weight, durability, stain resistance, and artistic design. Intended use determines the desired seating position, quote-unquote tasked chairs, or any chair intended for people to work at a desk or a table, including dining chairs, can only recline very slightly, otherwise the occupant is too far away from the desk or the table. Dental chairs are necessarily reclined. Easy chairs for watching television or movies are somewhere in between, depending on the height of the screen and the fatness of your buttocks. Ergonomic design distributes the weight of the occupant to various parts of the body. A seat that is higher results in dangling feet and increased pressure on the underside of the knees, quote-unquote the popliteal fold. It may also result in no weight on the feet, which means more weight elsewhere, resulting in a inelastic butt. A lower seat may shift too much weight to the seat bones, quote-unquote ischial tuberosities. A reclining seat and back will shift weight to the occupant's back. This may be more comfortable for some in reducing weight on the seat area, but may be problematic for others who have bad backs. Wow, Wikipedia, very good choice of words. Bad backs, really?
What's the Wikipedia article for gaming chair now?
Shut the fuck up. In general, if the occupant is supposed to sit for a long time, weight needs to be taken off
racing
the area,
seat?
and thus easy chairs intended for long periods of sitting are generally at least slightly reclined. However, reclining may not be suitable for chairs intended for working or eating at a table. The back of the chair will support some of the weight of the occupant unless you're a fucking fat ass, reducing the weight on other parts of the body. In general, backrests come in 3 heights. Lower backrest supported only the lumbar region.
Chris,
Shoulder
join the
height
stream.
backrests support the entire back and
No,
shoulders.
please.
Headrests support the head as well as are important in vehicles for preventing whiplash, neck injuries, and rear-end collisions, where the head is jerked back suddenly.
How does that
Reclining
prevent
chairs
collisions?
typically have a least shoulder height backrest to shift weight to the shoulders.
Yeah, I was
Exactly.
like,
Some chairs have footrests. Around 15% of women and 2% of men need footrests.
I'm about to
Even at the
spin my
16-inch
car off
chair
a
height,
cliff,
a
and you're like,
stool or
alright,
other
it's
simple
alright,
chair-
guys. I got a headrest.
may have simple straight or a curved bar near the bottom for the sitter to place their feet on. Some chairs have two curved bands of wood, also known as rockers, attached to the bottom of the legs. They're called rocking chairs.
This is
A
my
kneeling
fault.
chair adds an additional body part, the knees, to support the weight of the body.
Oh,
How
God.
is this article so long?
Bro, it's like 5 pages. It's like 8
A
pages.
sit-stand chair distributes most of the weight
How is
of
Ashton
the
reading
occupant
this
to the
whole
feet.
thing?
Many chairs are padded or have cushions. Padding can be on the seat of the chair only, on the seat and the back, or also on the armrests or footrests of the chair may have. Padding will not shift the weight to different parts of the body unless the chair is so soft that the shape is altered. However, padding does distribute the weight by increasing the area of contact between the chair and the body. A hardwood chair feels hard because the contact point between the occupant and the chair is small. The same body weight over a smaller area means greater pressure on that area. Spreading the area reduces the pressure on any given point. In lieu of padding, flexible materials such as wicker may be used instead of with similar effects of distributing the weight. Since most of the body weight is supported in the back seat padding, there should be firmer than the front of the seat, which only has the weight of the legs to support. Chairs that have padding in the same density front and back will feel soft in the back area and hard to the underside of the knees. There may be cases where padding is not desirable, such as chairs that are only intended primarily for outdoor use, where padding is not desirable. Contouring may be used instead. A contoured seat pan attempts to distribute weight without padding. By matching the shape of the occupant's buttocks, weight is distributed and maximum pressure is reduced. Actual chair dimensions are determined by measurements of the human body or anthropometric measurements. The two most relevant anthropometric measurement for chair design is the popliteal height and buttock popliteal length. For someone seated, the popliteal height is the distance from the underside of the foot to the underside of the top of the thigh at the knees. It is sometimes called the stool height. The term sitting height is reserved for the height to the top of the head when seated. For American men, the medium popliteal height is 16.3 inches, and the American woman, it is 15 inches. The popliteal height, after adjusting for heels, clothing, and other issues, is used to determine the height of a chair seat. Mass-produced chairs are typically 17 inches high. For someone seated, the buttock popliteal length is the horizontal difference from the backmost part of the buttocks to the back of the lower leg. This anthropometric measurement is used to determine the seat depth. Mass-produced chairs are typically 15 to 17 inches or 38 to 43 centimeters deep. Additional anthropometric measurements may be relevant to designing a chair. Research has shown that the best seated posture in a reclined posture of 100 to 110 degrees. Hip breadth is used for a chair width and armrest width. Elbow rest height is used to determine the height of the armrest. The buttock knee length is used to determine leg room between the row of chairs. Seat pitch is the distance between rows of seats in some airplanes and stadiums. The leg room, the seat pitch less the thickness of the seat at thigh level. It is so small that it sometimes is insufficient for the average person. For adjustable chairs, such as an office chair, the aforementioned principles are applied in adjusting the chair for the individual occupant. Caster wheels are attached to the feet chairs to give more mobility. Gas springs are attached to the body of the chair in order to give height adjustment and more comfort to the user. Armrests. A chair may or may not have armrests. Chair with armrests are termed armchairs. In French, a distinction is made between fauteuil and tricey, the terms for chairs with and without armrests, respectively. In Germany, an armchair was once called a Krankensessel, or sick chair, because it was intended for people who were too ill to stand or sit without extra support. If present, arm support part of the body weight through the arms if the arms are resting on the armrest. Armrests further have the function of making entry and exit from the chair easier, but from the side it becomes more difficult. Armrests should support the forearm and not the sensitive elbow area. Hence, in some chair designs, the armrest is not continuous to the chair back, but is missing in the elbow area. Seats. Chair seats vary widely in construction and may or may not have matched construction of the chair's back or backrest. Some systems include center seats, where a solid material forms the chair seat. Solid wood may or not be shaped to human contours. Wood slats, often seen in outdoor chairs. Padded leather, generally a flat wood base covered in padding and contained in soft leather. Stuffed fabric, similar to padded leather. Metal seats or solid or of solid or open design. Molded plastic, stone, often marble. Open center seats where a soft material is attached to the tops of the chair legs or between the stretchers to form the seat. Wicker, woven to provide a surface to give it. Leather, may be tooled with a design. Fabric, simple covering with support. Tape. I'm gonna skip this. Standards and specifications. Design considerations for chairs have been codified into standards ISO 9241. quote-unquote ergonomic requirements for office work with visual display terminals. Part 5. Workstation layout and postural requirements is the most common one for the modern chair design. There are multiple specific standards for different types of chairs. Dental chairs are specified by the ISO 6875. Beanbag chairs are specified by the ANSI standard ASTM F192-98. ISO 7174 specifies stability of rocking and tilting chairs. ASTM F18558-98 specifies plastic lawn chairs. ASTM E1822-02B defines the combustibility of chairs when they are stacked. The Business and Institutional Furniture Manufacturers Association. The Business and Institutional Furniture Manufacturers Association, or BIFMA, defines ANSI/BIFMA X5.1 titled General Purpose Office Chairs Tests for testing of commercial grade chairs. It specifies things like chair back strength of 150 pounds, chair stability if weight is transferred completely on the front or back legs, leg strength of 75 pounds applied 1 inch from the bottom of the leg, seat strengths of 225 pounds or 102 kilograms dropped from 6 inches above the seat. Seat cycle strength of 100,000 repetitions of 125 pounds dropped from 2 inches or 51 millimeters above the seat. The specification further defines heavier proof loads that the chairs must withstand. Under these higher loads, the chair might be damaged, but it must not fail catastrophically. Large institutions that make bulk purchases will reference these standards within their own, even more detailed criteria for purchase. On Article 32, governments will often issue standards for purchase by government agencies. Example, Canada's Canadian General Standards Board CAN/CGSB 44.15M on straight stacking chair steel, or CAN/CGSB 44.232-2002 on quote-unquote task chairs up for office work with visual display terminal. Chairs may be rated by the length of time that they may be used comfortably. An 8-hour chair or 24-hour chair, or so on. Such chairs are specified for tasks which require extended periods of sitting, such as for receptionists or supervisors of a control panel.
Fuck, there's a whole nother section.
Accessories. In place of built-in footrest, some chairs come with a matching ottoman. An ottoman is a short stool that is intended to be used as a footrest but can sometimes be used as a stool.
Ottoman
if
Empire.
matched to a glider chair, the ottoman may be mounted on a swing arm so that the ottoman rocks back and forth with the main glider. A chair cover is a temporary fabric cover for a side chair. They are typically rented for formal events, such as the wedding receptions, to increase the attractiveness of chairs and decor. The chair covers may come with decorative chair ties, a ribbon to be tied as a bow behind the chair. Covers for sofas and couches are also available for homes with small children and pets. In the second half of the 20th century, some people used custom clear plastic covers for expensive sofas and chairs to protect them. Chair pads are cushions for chairs. They contain cotton or foam for padding. Some are decorative. In cars, they may be used to increase the height of the driver. Orthopedic backrests provide support for the back. Car seats sometimes have built-in and adjustable lumbar supports. These can also be used on kitchen chairs. Chair mats are mats meant to be covered different types of flooring. They are usually made of plastic. This allows chairs on wheels to roll easily over the carpet and protect the carpet floor. They come in various shapes. Some are specifically sized to fit partially under the desk. Remote control bags can be draped over the arm of easy chairs or sofas and be used to hold remote controls for home cinemas. They're counterweighted so as to not slide off the arms under the weight of remote controls. Chair glides are attached to the feet of chairs to prevent them from scratching or snagging on the floor. As sculptural and art forms, the broken chair is a monumental sculpture of wood constructed of 5.5 tons of wood, 12 meters or 39 feet high, standing across the street from the Palace of Nations in Geneva. It has broken leg, symbolizing opposition to landmines and cluster bombs in 2001. Steve Mann exhibited a chair and sculpture at San Francisco Art Institution. The chair had spikes that retracted when a credit card was inserted to download a seating license. Later, other museums and galleries were equipped with the pay-to-sit chair with a global central seating license server located in Toronto. The first sitting session was free with a database of persons who had already used their free session.
You have
In a
to pay
performance
to
piece
sit?
at the 2012 Republican political convention, Clint Eastwood addressed an empty chair as if it had represented Barack Obama, meant to be construed as MIA or ineffectual.
MIA.
As MIA or ineffectual. MIA meaning missing in action.
We know what it means.
assigned to combatants, military chaplains, combat medics, and prisoners of war who are reported missing during wartime or ceasefire. They may have been killed,
Continue the
wounded,
chair
captured,
article.
or deserted if deceased. The address was controversial whether it was poignant or bizarre. Japanese designer Tokujin Yoshioka was Yoshi has created several chairs as art forms such as Honey Pot, Honeycomb paper chair 2001, or Panay chair, natural fiber chair 2006, Venus natural crystal chair 2007. In language,
One more.
if someone quote unquote nearly fell off their chair after being informed about something, it was because they were very shocked or surprised. An orchestra awards the best player in a particular section a chair or principal seat based on ability. The first chair of the section plays the solos, and in string sections determines the bowings. In professional orchestras, the first chair player receives higher pay. It is also common for the position to be known as first stand, a reference to the portable lectern on which the musicians put their sheet music. However, the person who is the first chair in the first violin section is usually referred to as a concert master in the US or leader in the UK. In academia, an endowed chair is a prestigious appointment for a professor who has a huge penis. Wait, an endowed chair is a prestigious appointment for a professor paid for by a dedicated funding source. A chair is the highest officer. No, that was not in the
You know what? The next thing I want you to do.
What? I'm not done. A chair is the highest officer of an organized group, such as the chair of board, the head of the board of directors in a company or non-profit organization. Musical chairs is a common party game and a colloquial expression to describe people shuffling from seat to seat around different locations as they try to achieve in a job that is quite literally stupid and fucking dumb.
Jack.
In American slang, to say someone will get the chair is to say that they will get the girl. What? Never mind. I meant to say that they will be executed by an electric chair. Alternatively, it can be used as a metaphor for gay men sitting on the leg of a chair. What? That's disgusting.
Colloquial.
Collateral damage.
Got him.
All right, now the next article.
I wanted to look deeper. I wanted to look deeper into the office chair. An office chair or desk chair is a type of chair. Sorry.
Was this painful, Ashton?
That is
No.
30 minutes, I think.
Read
those
the
30 minutes.
Read the penis article.
Do it.
Read the penis article.
Yes.
Jack is gay.
I'll search it up. Oh my god! What the?
Why would you switch it up?
Birds?
Why
A
would you
penis.
Seriously?
Plural penises or the penis. Is the primary sexual organ that male animals use to inseminate sexually receptive mates. Usually females in hermaphrodites. Copulation. Copulation is sexual intercourse, is sexual activity typically involving the insertion and thrusting of the penis into the vagina for sexual pleasure, reproduction, or both. This is also known as vaginal intercourse, vagina sex, vaginal sex, hardcore pounding, big sexy fun time. Other words apply.
I don't know which one you're reading.
Why did you
Other
aggressively
words
say
apply.
the word sex?
Wait, are you still reading about chairs?
Such organs occur in many animals, both vertebrate and invertebrate, but males do not bear a penis in every animal species. And in those species in which the male does not bear a so-called penis, the penises in the various species are not necessarily homologous. Meaning,
Which one are you reading?
the term penis applies to many intromittent organs, but not to all. For example, the intromittent organ of one cephalopoda is the hectoocolicata blah blah, a specialized arm, and male spiders use their peda blah blah. Even within the vertebrae that are these are morphological variants within specific terminology, such as the
Nearly
it's
with
only
any
a PS.
aspect of the body involved in sexual or
What are you watching?
functions, the penis is a subject of many slang words and euphemisms for it.
female ducks. Female ducks
particular
have
common.
No, no,
Yeah.
Jack, my turn.
I saw that. A particular common and enduring one.
Oh my
being
God.
cock.
Female ducks have.
The Latin word phallus from Greek.
haven't heard that
is
one
sometimes
before.
used Yo, we should just read the
No.
Greek. What?
Female ducks.
History of Kenya. Ashton.
What?
Take
Gotta
it
do
away.
The history of Kenya.
Oh
I
my
wanna know
god.
more.
Wait,
Take it
Female
away,
ducks
Ashton.
have
Wait.
corkscrew
Oh my
vaginas
God.
with
wait,
many.
look at this. I just read that. Everyone go and bot spam.
Oh no.
Not a
What-
picture.
I wonder
not a
how the
picture,
first
not a picture,
person
not a
was able
picture.
to determine what the. I wonder how the first person was able to
What?
determine.
Look at
what's
this.
that?
Read it. It's so bad. I didn't know that existed.
Wait,
stunt
what?
cock?
Is it in bot spam?
Oh, I'm okay.
What? Yes.
The history of Kenya.
Oh my
Kenya,
God.
Kenya,
Oh.
also known as the Black Nation, a part of Eastern Africa.
Wait. So you know how there's actors and stuntmen, right?
Yeah.
So,
Wait.
so
Oh,
you
history
can,
of
you
Kenya.
can literally say.
Oh, this is long.
Oh my God. Dude, that's terrible. Okay,
Ashton, do it. Do it.
dude. No, I'm on the Wikipedia page for Kenya, and I went down to history. I'm on the history part of the Kenya article, and guess what? It just says fossils found in Kenya show that primates inhabited the area for more than 20 years, 20 million years. It's terrible.
What?
What?
What? That just means
Primate.
primates inhabited the area, Jack. What?
Mm-hmm.
Monkeys
History
used
of
to live there.
Kenya.
Hello?
History
Jack.
of Kenya, also known as the Black
Hello?
Nation,
Oh.
a part of Eastern Africa. Territory of what is known now as Kenya.
Jack is
seems
being unnecessarily
seen a
racist.
human habitation since the beginning of the lower Paleolithic era
Which
of
one are you
when
reading from?
humans evolved from
Don't
apes
understand.
to black people. The Bantu expansion. Okay, I'm gonna skip down to the Iron Age. So there was some errors in the gene pool. Anyways, the Iron Age. The Bantu expansion is thought to have reached western Kenya around 1000 BCE, much after the rest of the world. Kenya is very behind in every socio-economic possibility. Kenyans are so behind advanced and technologically, their
What'd you
brains
say?
are set to have more primitive instincts compared to the white people.
Oh my God.
Well, that's
Wow.
not very good evidence for.
Chris, you got this on record.
Oh yeah, sorry, I read that wrong. I read it wrong. I don't know where that other words are.
Yo, wait. What if you wait? Wikipedia homosexuality.
Portuguese colonization. The Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama reached Mombasa in 1498 when the Kenyans were literally banging rocks. The
Oh,
Portuguese did not intend to find settlements, but were surprised to find Kenyans banging rocks. But to establish naval bases would give Portugal control over the Indian Ocean.
Oh.
Interesting.
And the banging rocks.
The Portuguese became the first Europeans to explore the region of current-day Kenya. Da Gama's voyage successfully modernized Kenya as they now went from rocks to sticks. What? That's not an advancement.
Tim Cook.
Oh.
That's an advancement.
The Republic of Venice had gained control.
Because if you're going from stone.
The Republic of Venice had gained so much control over Kenya that the Kenyans practically had no identity and were thus almost at the level of animals. Portuguese rule in East Africa focused mainly on a coastal strip centered in Mombasa. The Portuguese presence in East Africa began after 1505 when they came into Kenya and took the rocks out of their hands, giving them AK-47s. What? Dummies. Stupid dumbass idea.
Oh my God, Ashton.
All right,
After
you can
this-
stop now.
After this,
No,
notable
because-
tribes were created and divided the nation among post-war conflict. Wow. Okay. It is said that Portuguese presence in Kenya in early days have actually ruined the country forever.
All right.
Wait, why did you do
Why did you
that?
kick him?
Why did you kick
You know what? Let's all go to theater.
You moved me, bro. Wow. Alright,
Let's watch a movie. But Ashton's,
Dude, you offended his
You
Kenyan
moved
culture.
me, Zach. Moved me. I can't
Man,
say
it
it
makes
anymore.
me cry.
Zach ruined it.
Wait, weren't you gonna Google homosexuality?
I did. It's not interesting.
Oh, I see.
I'm okay.
Being a
Oh my
being a
god.
homophobe there.
No, it's just history.
I'm gonna have to report you to the gay police.
The First World War. The First World War and Kenya's involvement in the First World
This is
War.
my fault. This is all my fault. I'm very sorry, y'all.
Kenya became a military base for the British in the First World War.
Chris is
But-
just getting footage.
As efforts to subdue the
Let's
German
replace Mr.
colony
Burns with
became
Ashton.
frustrated,
He's like content.
Kenyans decided to equip AK-47s to the native monkey populations.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! We are learning so much
Ashton,
today.
share your screen.
And Germany and East Africa agreed a truce in an attempt to keep the young colonies from committing bestiality against the monkeys. However, Lieutenant
It's an
Carl von Lettow-Verbeck took command of the German military forces, leading the monkeys into battle, resulting in the monkey finish and success over British supply. Wow!
The more you learn.
These
The more you
equipped
know.
apes, quote-unquote equipped apes, resulted better in combat than the traditional Kenyan soldier. Oh my gosh, okay, wow.
So this
That's
is going to
enough reading.
Courtney, right? This
enough.
is going to Courtney.
That's enough reading. That's enough reading.
It is.
I've learned too much about Kenya that I've,
Really?
Come on
What
now.
have you learned? What have you learned, Ashton?
everything.
Did you say everything?
Okay.
Who wants to play Scribble?
I'll play Scribble.
Okay.
I cucked myself over.
What? Oh my god, dude.
Or
this
or we could
literally-
go.
Okay, I was on surf and I beat a level. I was trying to beat this for an hour, right?
We should.
And the server straight up just reset and put me back to
Hold on.
level 1.
Hold on.
I'm gonna like hang myself. This is
Dude, I was so stacked, and then I accidentally bought something that I didn't know what it did, and then rearranged everything and gave me
I don't know
trash.
what I don't know what it do either.
Shut the fuck up, Jack. Just your mouth. Shut your cunt mouth. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I love you sometimes, but sometimes
No.
you're a dick.
You shut the fuck up.
All right, join guys. It's in general. Austin, get in here. Nuzzles, you get in here.
Oh,
Nuzzles,
no.
ooh woo, Austin, nuzzle, muzzle, ooh woo, come on face. Okay, what?
Alright.
Oh god.
Retarded.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
it's
little
long.
bit.
Oh, I got it. Oh my
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I think I know what it is.
Oh my god.
What? What?
Gave it away. That's
I shouldn't have done that. I said mean bag, bro.
Killer bag.
Killer
A lot of
bean.
cultures eat beans. You don't have to associate with. Oh my.
It's what they're called, beaners.
All right, let's just get this over with. Let's get this over.
This
Get
is bad.
over with.
What is this? Disgusting. Damn it, Emily's so bad, bro.
I just see three people misspell McDonald's, dude. Oh my
man.
god.
Hey.
McDonald's? McDonald's? McDonald's?
McDonald's.
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 Please leave your message for.
Fuck you.